Hi. So you have a question like this on the board, okay, that talks about principal rate time and also amount. Okay, so I'm going to teach you two different methods. One is when you are faced in an examination where they want you to explain. For example, in a WAEC examination where it's a theory question, okay? Then I'm going to also show you another method when you are faced in an exam like JAMB, where you don't need explanation, you just need to get the answer and move to the next question. Now, solution. Okay, now, it says a sum of money was invested at 8%. Okay, you're looking at the rate. So we can call this rate, which is R, and it's equals to what? 8%, right? Now, you have after 4 years. When you hear years, it means time. So we can put it T, right? It's the duration. Okay? Now, the amount became this. Amount, okay? A became 330 naira, right? Now, find the original principal. It means principal was not given in this question. So they are telling us to look for it. Now, I need you to understand this formula. This formula says that amount is equals to principal bracket open 1 plus rate multiplied by time over 100 bracket closed. If you can apply this, then you are good to go, right? You already have step to the answer. And this is what WAEC wants. Now, we have defined all of this. Now we have to insert the values. So now, let's go. Amount is what? 330, right? So we have 330 equals to P. P is what? They did not give us what P is. So we still leave that letter P, okay, as our unknown variable. Now, bracket open 1 plus your rate R is 8 multiplied by your time 4 over 100. I don't know if that is clear enough. So, now, let's proceed. You now come here and say 330 equals P 1 plus 8 times 4 is 32. So you have 32 over 100. 32 over 100 will give you 0.32. Right? You need to understand these things. These are basic mathematics. You need to understand how decimal appeared. You know, when you have 8 times 4, it is 32. Don't forget you have the 100. So you have the 0, 0, 1. So it just means you put a point where you have the 1 and you put your 32. That's why you have 0.32, right? So we now have 330 equals to P multiplied by, we'll have to open the bracket. P multiplied by 1 will give you P plus P multiplied by 0.2 will give you 0.32 P. So we have 330 equals P plus this will give you 1.32 P. So we divide both sides by 1.32 and divide here by 1.32. This cancels out. So P here equals to 330 over 1.32. So we have 330 over 1.32. So let's move the decimal. If you move this decimal here 1, here becomes 0. You move here 1 again, here becomes 0. So we have 33,000 over 132. Now, how many times can 132 go into 33,000? So, if you multiply this, if you multiply 132 by 250, okay, you will get your answer as 33,000. So, that simply means that P will be equal to what? 250 naira. Right? So, your answer will be what? E. Okay? Now, this is the step that a body like WAEC would require for you to solve this kind of question. Now, I'm going to teach you a very fast method if you encounter this in JAMB. Now, this is what I will apply for a typical JAMB question, right? I would say solution. I would say solution. Now, this is a method 2. Method 2. Fast method. Now, what will I do? I would say that simple interest for 4 years is what? Simple interest for 4 years is, for 4 years at 8%, right? It is 8%, and they said it's for 4 years at 8% is what? 8% multiplied by 4 years, and that will give you what? 32%. That means every year 8%, every year 8%, every year 8%. So in 4 years, it's going to be 32%. So this means that the amount is what? 100% plus 32%. Right? So it will now give us 132%. Now, so if 132% is equal to 330, right? Therefore, 1% will be what? This divided by this. And you are going to get what? 2.5 naira. Now, if 1% gives you 2.5 naira, hence 100% will give you 2.5 multiplied by 100, and you're going to get 250 naira. Simple. This is just a very simple step. I want you to go over this again and also engage yourself in questions like this. Okay, so listen to me very carefully. Whenever you see the amount after simple interest is given, find the principal. Take note of this. The first thing to do is find the total percent, which in this case, it is 100% plus 32%. That gives the total. That's 100% plus the interest. We already have the interest as 32% for 4 years. Second, you divide the amount by the total percent. So we divided this by the total percent. Okay? Now the third thing to do is to multiply by 100 or use the 1% method as I have stated here. So if you know that 132% will give you this, then we'll now look for what 1% will likely give to us. So if 1% can give us 2.5, then we know that 100% will now give us this. Now, this method is quick, accurate, and perfect for JAMB. Okay? If you have been asked in WAEC objective, you can use this. Okay? And any other aptitude test, okay, that is time constraining. Okay? So I always want you to think, solve, and excel. Thank you for listening and watching Prime Maths Solver. Bye-bye.